Hi, I'm Christopher from iDoc, and today I'd like to show you how you can replace the display of your Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. This repair is kind of tricky because parts like the battery are glued in place. You should plan on taking about 60 minutes. You need the following tools: a steel spatula, several soft picks, a suction cup, tweezers, a Phillips screwdriver, and a spudger. I also recommend using a magnetic pad so you can keep your screws organized while you work. You can find the tools I mentioned in our shop, and if you get stuck on one of the steps, check out the guide with pictures on our website. You can use the comment function to ask questions. Now have fun repairing your device. Before you start the repair, it makes sense to turn off your device. Press the sleep-wake button and then tap the display to confirm the command. First of all, remove the tray for the SIM card and the MICROSD card. In this step, you remove the back cover. Heat the back cover with a heat gun or a hairdryer. Then stick the suction cup on the middle of your device and pull on it. As soon as a gap appears between the device and the back cover, insert the pick to open this gap. Insert more picks to keep the back cover from getting stuck again. Now you can unscrew the 12 screws that attach the 3 antennas to the device. The upper and lower antennas are for Wi-Fi and cell phone reception, and the middle antenna is for wireless charging. All the screws are the same length, so don't worry about mixing them up. If one of the screws gets stuck when you're unscrewing it, just use the tweezers to pull it out. Now remove the 3 antennas. Start with the adhesive strip in the lower right corner. Use the tweezers to pull it off. Then start at the top and remove one antenna after the other. For the upper antenna, insert your tool at about the level of the SIM card slot. There's a narrow gap where you can insert the tool. Now carefully lift out the cover and then put your tool to the left of the camera. Insert your tool at about the level of the volume button to remove the middle antenna. Once you've detached the cover, you can fold it up and remove it. For the lower antenna, you can insert your tool at the level of the speaker. Before you continue with your repair, you should disconnect the battery. Insert your tool below the contact and disconnect it from the logic board. In this step, you remove the front camera. Use the spudger to disconnect the contact and then remove the camera. Disconnect the following contacts: volume rocker switch, proximity sensor, the connector for the control buttons, and the 2 antennas for Wi-Fi and cell phone reception. Once you've unplugged everything, you can take the logic board out of the frame. Slowly tilt the logic board upward, and as soon as you can see the connection, unplug the connector. Now you can remove the earpiece, which is glued to the display frame. Put your tool on the left side and lift out the earpiece. In the next step, you remove the proximity sensor. Slide your tool under the cable and use it to remove the sensor. Now you can remove the vibration motor. Insert your tool below the motor and start with the contacts. Now you can remove the audio port. First, you have to remove the screw holding the port in place. Then disconnect the contact and remove the entire port. Now remove the two antenna cables. Pull them out of their holders and disconnect them from the board. To remove the battery, you need the steel spatula. It's better if you use the flat end so you don't puncture the battery. Then insert the spatula between the battery and the frame on the side. Carefully pry off the battery to detach the glue from the frame. This is pretty tough because the glue is really stuck on there. Make sure that the steel spatula never pierces the battery. The metal could cause a short circuit and could cause the battery to get very hot or even explode. As soon as you've detached the battery a little on all sides, you can try to insert the steel spatula below it and detach the glue on all sides. Once the battery comes up a little, you can pull it out with your fingers. So here's the new display. You can tell right away that there's a protective film on some of the surfaces. Let's start with the proximity sensor. We have to take off all these pieces of film because this is where we stick on the parts to make sure they stay in place when they're in the frame. Here's the one for the earpiece and here's the opening for the front camera. Here are two thermal pads that go on the PCB. Last but not least, we have the adhesive strips for the battery. Now we can go ahead and install the battery. Make sure the flex cable for the middle button doesn't get stuck under it at the front. It's best if you start at the bottom and slowly drop the battery in. Then press it down again so the glue will really stick. Connect the two antenna cables to the board again and route them past the battery. Now install the 3.5mm audio port at the lower edge of the device again. Put the port through the opening in the frame. Then fasten the port to the board using a screw. Now you can put the vibration motor back in. Then you have to put the proximity sensor back in the opening. Press it on a little to make it stick well. Then put the earpiece back in its place. To reinstall the logic board, first plug in the USB connector. Then tilt the board downward and guide it past the flex cables. Once it's positioned properly in the frame, you can reconnect all the plugs. Now connect all the plug contacts to the logic board again. Gently and carefully press them back on. You should hear them all click softly into place. If it doesn't work the first time, take them back off and try again. Put the front camera back in its opening and plug it to the logic board. Now connect the battery back to the logic board. Install the three antennas again. Click the lower antenna into place at the lower end of the device and then press down the antenna. Then install the middle antenna again. Then you can attach it to the device. Last but not least, install the third antenna by inserting it next to the middle antenna and pressing it down. Once you've installed all the 3 antennas, don't forget the adhesive strips. Now fasten the antenna with the 12 screws again. Then put the back cover back on. Press it on firmly so the glue will really stick to the frame. To finish the repair, put the SIM card tray back in. Now that you've replaced your display, it's a good idea to test the new display. So first I removed the protective film so I can see all the details of the display. Then of course, turn on the device. Pick any app and drag it around the whole screen. If the app bounces back instead of following your finger, something's wrong with the touchscreen. If it moves around like it's supposed to, everything is fine. Everything looks the way it should on the display, so you're all done. Congratulations on your successful repair. This tutorial is over now. I hope you enjoyed the repair. You can use the comment function to ask questions or provide suggestions and tips. We're always happy to help you out. See you next time.